Hello, kind people. This is Dmitry. Welcome to my weekly listener recap. And today we are talking about this puzzle that's on your screen. It's called Knockout and it's by Harribobs. A few words about the setter. Harribobs, I believe, is the pseudonym for Peter Harrison. But yeah, let's check that. So let's go to the listener website. So here we have it, Harribobs. So not a debut by any means. It's the 8th, actually I think the 9th listener puzzle by Harribobs. It just didn't make it to the website yet. And out of the previous 8, as I started solving in 2021, I've only done one called Summertime, and it was based around the magic square. Yeah, I think it was based around the magic square. We can probably check it by clicking here. Doesn't work. Okay, well, anyway. So yeah, yeah, it was based around magic square. But this is the puzzle which I don't remember that well. I mean, I kind of remember the feeling that it was quite clever. But the very first Harribobs I solved was in the Magpie in 2022, and that one I can show. So let's see if we go here. Yeah, there it is. So it's called Battleships, and it is, as you can see, like the preamble somehow references the game of Battleships in some way. But what is quite interesting here is that if you now look at all the clues, they all are thematic, right? They all have some naval surface reading to them. And I found it, and I think this was probably the very first puzzle since I started solving thematics where that happened, and it was quite an impression. I thought, like, wow, you can do that. Why do we not see that more often? And I guess probably the reason is that it is just really hard to write all the clues with thematic surfaces. So yeah, I greatly enjoyed that one. And so now coming back to the listener that we have today, we will recognize some of this. Okay, so here is the preamble. The grid represents the later stages of a knockout competition. 15 clues need 1 to 3 consecutive words removed to enable solving. In each case, the extra portion starts or ends with a jumble of the name of a team knocked out. The grid must show the result when the members of the 15 losing teams have been eliminated and the one remaining team has moved, assembling in the winner's area. And as you can see, all the clues are somehow about football. So this is one of those puzzles where I guess in recapping that I'm allowed certain detours because the puzzle itself is not hard at all. I think about half of the clues are very much like an A grade level clues. Whenever I solve thematics, I typically allow myself to use sort of all kinds of aids, and I'm fine with that. Here I solved quite a lot of clues without any dictionary whatsoever, which is very unusual for thematics and very unusual for the listener. So I haven't even, they came so I started solving them, and basically, 5 minutes later, a quarter of the grid was in. So I didn't really track like which was the very first one. But there obviously are like this 15 thematic ones, and those were not easy. At least like some of them were not easy, because extracting the correct portion and especially extracting the team names was not easy. So I think I'll just move straight to kind of the end game, because so this is the complete grid, and I have to show you these thematic clues. So steady second, half mastering before counter. So steady is stable, S stands for second, a table is a counter, and in a shop, say, and thus half mastering are extra words. And indeed, if you start reading them from this side and you stop here, you could get Fulham out of them. And then here, for example, Millwall's Arena indeed gives you the team, but that team is not Millwall. That team is Arsenal. So if you go here, you get Arsenal. And so both of those were... Is Fulham in the Premier League these days? Keeps going out and back. I think they are, right? But I mean, Arsenal definitely is. And then we have Chelsea. But I was fully expecting some lower level teams as well, and we did get them. As you can see here, we get Barnsley and Morecambe and even Carlisle United. And do we get any non-league teams here? Is Carlisle United any of those? Is Leyton Orient? Where are they? I don't really know. But I mean, I'm not really following top levels of English football, and if I am, I mean, okay, a bit of a personal story. So at some point, I was very much a Dulwich Hamlet supporter before it sort of became popular in among the politically inclined youngsters. I mean, nothing against those youngsters. It's just that I think me and my friend, we got there before them, and not as a result of rise in popularity of Hamlet. But yeah, so this kind of leagues, like Eastman League level 7 or 8 of British football pyramid, is the kind of football I might be interested in. You know, Ramsgate, not far from where I live now, they play in the same league as Dulwich, and these days, because they just got promoted, and they had a game against each other not that long ago. This is the type of football I'm interested. But of course, like FA Cup is open to everyone, so yeah, in theory, they could ended up there as well. So, so once you identify all of these teams, what you have to do is you have basically start erasing them from the grid. What I did, I started to mark them, you know, like Fulham, F. I need to find the U. Where's U? There should be at least 2 U's, I think, because there is Carlisle United as well. And now I can't see any single one. What's going on? Okay, there's one. So A-L, H, A-M. Okay, I probably shouldn't do it on camera. And so on. And then once you eliminate all of them, there is going to be an anagram of the only team left. And indeed, from this, you could get Wigan Athletic from the remaining letters. So I think what you have to do now is to erase the grid, write Wigan Athletic here, and submit it. Nice and easy for the marker of the crossword. So let us double check the preamble. So the grid must show the results when the members of the 15 losing teams have been eliminated. And the one remaining team has moved, assembling in the winner's area. Eliminated, that's actually interesting. So what happens if I just cross them out? Should I cross them out or should I remove them? Like, I think I should remove them. Because, yeah, the one remaining team has moved, assembling in the winner's area. Yeah, because otherwise I think the grid is very much non-unique, right? Because instead of this T, I could have ended up with that T and how and I. Yeah, so I think the only way to submit is to erase everything from the grid and just leave this Wigan Athletic in the winner's box. Now, what do I think about that? A, I really enjoy the idea of thematic clues. That's great. B, I'm indifferent towards football these days. I'm much more of a rugby person, if anything, and and in general, I think I'm more these days into like more weird sports, as in, I guess for a non-native speaker, you know, getting interested in cricket was tricky, but I think I'm, you know, cricket is more of my, yeah, cricket, snooker, strange British sports. But I, you know, when I was in school, I played enough of Football Manager, back then called Championship Manager. Was it Champions Manager? Oh, gosh, I forgot. Anyway, whatever it was called before it became Football Manager. I played enough of that game that I know a lot of English teams, and not just from Premier League. So that was sort of doable. I think I had, which ones I struggled with? I think I struggled with finding Leyton Orient and Salford City. So for those, I had to resort to anagram solver. So I knew that here, for example, I knew that entirely had to be entirely in the anagram folder, and then so has to be either off or not. So I bet for the not, so I stuck this, and then I was adding to the anagram solver one letter at a time, and I think just if you add just O, you end up with Leyton Orient. And similarly, I mean, the same linear time process works for all of them, but yeah. So I used it for the other one to find Salford City. But here is what I really want to say about this puzzle. I don't understand, like, okay, so maybe Harribobs is a fan of Wigan. Wigan did win FA Cup in 2013, in 2012-2013 season. They beat Manchester City in the final, and notably there's no Manchester City here. So this is not a real FA Cup. I don't think Wigan won FA Cup on any other occasions. So, and I don't think this is, or is it not? Yeah, I mean, maybe it's of course like the other cup, which is like just the League Cup. I haven't really properly checked that, and maybe I should, whether this is any real. Maybe we should quickly check it now. Let's go to Wigan. Wigan Athletic. Let's do that together. So this is Wikipedia page of Wigan Athletic. So what should we look at? We should look at honors, I guess, right? Cup, League Cup, runners-up. So they never won that one. They only won FA Cup this time. FA Trophy, Associate Maybe Cup Football League Trophy. Could be that one, or could be that one. So maybe we have to look at this. First round, second round, quarterfinals. Okay. No, not quarterfinals. Oh, okay, quarterfinals is enough because none of these teams are there. Carlisle United is here. But, okay, so that's not it. Oh, it's Northern Section and Southern Section. Interesting. So that's how it was done. Okay, let's have a look at this one now. And similarly, it's not this one either, right? These are the 16 teams, and yeah, clearly there are some teams here which are not in the crossword. So that couldn't be that. So I don't really know, and at the moment it looks like that's not any of the real competitions. And if it is not a real FA Cup, then I think I have a better, and I genuinely think it is a better suggestion for how it should have played out. And I think I would just unapologetically turn the rest of this recap into sort of an ad for one of my favorite writers and two of his books. So there is this gentleman, J.L. Carr, who called himself Jim and James, was English novelist, cartographer, lexicographer, publisher, and teacher. And J.L. Carr is mostly known, as Wikipedia kindly points out, for a novel, A Month in the Country, which is one of my favorite books of. So I read it only a year and a half ago, but ever since it's I'm a big fan, and I strongly recommend it to everyone. But apart from that one, the only other novel that I have read of J.O. Carr so far, and apart from novels, he also made this weird maps of British counties with some basically just quirky, weird maps of them. I'm actually going to order one of Kent, because he set up his own publishing house in his home, and I think that one is still running. What's it called? Yeah, the Queen Street Press. But okay, basically what is more relevant to the puzzle is that this is his other novel, and it's called How Steeple Cinderby Wanderers Won the FA Cup. And it's a wonderful book as well. I don't think it reaches sort of the same heights as A Month in the Country, but it is really, I mean, it's rather hard for me to sort of review books, but I strongly recommend it, and I think it has in some of its spirit is very much similar to A Month in the Country, although it's much more of a in some sense light-hearted thing. But anyway, so it documents the progress of a fictional Steeple Cinderby team that ended up winning FA Cup, and all the other teams that they beat in the process are real. And so I was really hoping that the end game is going to end up with Steeple Cinderby Wanderers being the winners rather than some real teams. I don't know. I hope that we're going to get the Setter's blog, and maybe Harribobs will explain to us why Wigan. Is it just that he's a fan of Wigan, or is it somehow commemorating the FA Cup win, but for some reason with all the other teams in top 16? Don't really know. But anyway, so I strongly recommend both books, and to be honest, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't Steeple Cinderby. So, but other than that, like very easy listener if you are a football fan, less so if you are not, but still, definitely done in a day, and nothing like last week's Sabre that took several days and multiple rechecks. So at least, the marker is going to get a week off, and I guess that's rather nice. So thank you for watching, and see you next week. Bye.